The surprising way weather affects our mood and behavior. Now, we have a very bad snowstorm taking place in the Washington, D.C., Virginia area, but we are heading towards, slowly but surely, spring, a beautiful season. Now, weather can be sunny, stormy, dreary, or unpredictable, but then so too can your mood. It's obviously, for example, I used to live in Montreal, and we had friends in New York. And whenever they would come to visit us, I was so jealous of them because the girls didn't have black circle under their eyes like we did in Canada. All the girls in Canada had black circles under their eyes. For some reason, we weren't getting enough sun, and it was showing on our faces. Where a few hours down, 7 hours drive south in New York is not the same thing. The weather is changing there. It's different. There's a big difference. But anyway, the mood can change by the weather, depending if it's cold or hot, or if it's sunny or rainy, dreary. The way you feel on any given day may actually be intricately tied to the weather forecast in ways science is only beginning to now understand. Many people are now aware that spending time outdoors on a sunny day and allowing the sun to shine on your bare skin is necessary for your body to produce vitamin D, which also plays a role in serotonin production. Serotonin, the brain hormone associated with mood elevation, rises with exposure to bright light, and it falls with decrease in sun exposure. This is one reason why bright light therapy is so effective for treating people with seasonal affective disorder, SAD, which is sometimes referred to as winter depression, quote unquote. This is only the tip of the iceberg, though. A sunny day can make you feel inexplicably happy, but only if you can frolic outdoors. People who are stuck indoors on a sunny day may feel their mood plummet, and the weather also has significant and often subconscious effects on behavior and more. Pleasant weather improves mood and broadens cognition. How many times when the weather was beautiful did our teachers take us to have classes outdoors? That finally support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. So, pleasant weather improves mood and broadens cognition. The association between weather and psychological changes has led to some inconsistent results. Research published in the journal Psychological Science found this may be due to 2 important factors: the season and how much time is spent outside. Pleasant weather was associated with higher mood, better memory, and broadened cognitive style during the spring as time spent outdoor increased. The same could not be said for mood and weather during other times of the year, and the hot summer months were associated with lower mood. The researchers reasoned that pleasant springtime weather was such a positive effect because people have been deprived of pleasant weather during the winter. Researcher Matthew Keller summed it up quite simply by saying, if you wish to reap the psychological benefits of good springtime weather, go outside. Now, how the weather may control our behavior. When the sun comes out, you may alter your behavior without even realizing it. Studies suggest, for instance, that on sunny days, people help each other more and leave more generous tips when eating at restaurants. Research published at the Journal of Finance even found sunshine is significantly associated with stock returns, while rain and snow are not. If you're looking to find a date, you may fare better when the weather is sunny as well. One French study found women were more receptive to giving their phone numbers to an attractive stranger on sunny days compared to cloudy days, providing their number 22% of the time and 14% of the time respectively. Another study conducted by the same researcher, French psychologist Nicolas Guillen, also found drivers were more likely to pick up hitchhikers on sunny days than they were on cloudy days. Perhaps the positive mood induced by the sunshine promotes helping behaviors, he said. Now, on the other hand, separate research revealed that the further the temperature rises or falls from the ideal 68 degrees Fahrenheit, the lower helping rate becomes. Weather influences your mental health as well, and maybe your chances of college admission as well. People have been found to recall up to 7 times more objects when quizzed on cloudy days as opposed to sunny days. Shoppers in a negative mood showed better memory and higher discrimination ability, the researcher said. Still, other research analyzed 682 actual university admissions decisions. It turned out that applicants' academic attributes were weighted more heavily on cloudier days, while non-academic attributes were given more weight on sunnier days. And according to the study, the documented effects are of both statistical and practical significance. Changes in cloud cover can increase candidates' predicted probability of admission by an average of up to 12%. Crime rates also rise along with the temperature. Sunny weather is not always a good thing, though, particularly when it means temperatures are high. Crime rates increase during the summer months, according to the U.S. Department of Justice, DOJ. A DOJ study revealed rates of serious violent crimes, household larceny, and household property victimization are significantly higher in summer months. There are a couple of reasons why this may be. Hot, sticky weather may make people feel irritable, causing them to act out with increased aggression and hostility. Summer weather also attracts people outdoors, which means there are more social interactions and more opportunities for arguments and crimes to ensue. The exception is when it starts to get really hot, 90 degrees Fahrenheit and over. And we know, especially in North America, there's also the humidity that plays a factor. Now, then even criminals tend to stay inside to cool off. Epoch Times says aspects of weather beyond heat and sunshine have also been shown to affect mood. Humidity tends to make people more tired and irritable. Barometric pressure fluctuations can alter moods and trigger headaches. Some studies finding a link between low pressure and suicide, and on rainy days people report lower satisfaction with their lives. In the video here, in the link, Leanna Scott describes how spending 20 minutes outside on a sunny day, spring day, helped her to relieve symptoms of depression. She says, "I know only too well how a sunny day can mock you and taunt you and make you feel even worse than you already do. You close the blinds, pull the blanket back over your head, and wish that you had the energy to go outside. The truth is, though, that going outside and getting a little bit of sun and fresh air can go a long way to relieving depression symptoms. I would also say going outside, walk a brisk walk, that gets up your adrenaline and even people that jog or run lightly know that you feel good when you do that. Your body feels good. It's like an addiction to running and walking after that, because it does lift you. Now, the truth is going outside, getting a little bit of sun and fresh air can go a long way to relieve depression symptoms, even if it's just for a little while. I'd say stay out for long, only about 20, I didn't stay out for long, she says, only 20 minutes, cleaning up here and there. I could almost feel the vitamin D, sometimes called the sunshine vitamin, seeping into my skin. Okay, I know that's a little over the top, but still, those 20 short minutes in the sun and fresh air revived me. For the first time in a long time, I felt energized. It may sound like a stretch, but giving your body a dose of needed vitamin D may have a significant effect on your mood, and even more so if it's done regularly to keep your levels within the optimal range. People suffering from anxiety and depression are more likely to have vitamin D deficiency. Further, in one previous study, seniors with the lowest levels of vitamin D were found to be 11 times more prone to be depressed than those who had normal levels. A double-blind randomized trial published in 2008 also concluded it appears to be a relation between serum levels of 25 OHD and symptoms of depression. Supplementation with high doses of vitamin D seems to ameliorate, to make everything better, these symptoms indicating a possible causal relationship. Spending time in green spaces also enhances your mood. It has a psychological and physical benefit. Simply taking a walk in nature in a natural area has been shown to decrease the pattern of negative thinking known as rumination, which is linked to the increased risk of depression. Those researchers noted This study reveals a pathway by which nature experience may improve mental well-being and suggests that accessible natural areas within urban contexts may be a critical resource for mental health in our rapidly urbanized world. And indeed, more than 80% of Americans live in urban areas, which can limit access to green spaces and potentially worsen public health. In addition to improving well-being, those living in a greener environment report fewer health complaints and better mental health. All types of green space, city parks, agricultural parks, forests, etc., were equally beneficial. In a study of 2,600 children between the ages of 7 and 10, those with greater exposure to green spaces, particularly while at school, had improved working memory and decreased inattentiveness. A 2014 study similarly found that children attending schools with greater amounts of vegetation scored higher on academic tests in both English and math. A 50-minute nature walk improves mood and memory. Not to mention, older adults who spend more time outdoors have less pain, sleep better, have less functional decline in their ability to carry out their daily activities. Research published in 2015 also found immense benefits from taking a 50-minute walk in a natural area compared to a similar walk in an urban area. The researchers noted a nature walk resulted in effective benefits, that is, decreased anxiety, rumination of thoughts, a negative effect, and preservation of positive effect, as well as cognitive benefits, increasing working memory performance. These studies did not look into the weather per se, but just the act of getting outside, so it may be that spending time outdoors in nature is beneficial regardless of the weather. Of course, you're not going to go out in the rain and snowstorms, but you go out even to enjoy a snowy winter day with the bright sun reflecting off the snow. That's beautiful. Even the smell of the snow is beautiful. Now, even photos of green spaces may lessen stress. Urbanization is associated with an increase in stress-related diseases and mental disorders for those living in urban environments. A recent study published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health highlighted the need for residents of urban environments to find relief from the urban stressors, preferably by having access to outdoor open spaces. And they explained there's an increased scientific evidence that particularly open spaces with natural or vegetated elements, for example, green spaces, provide opportunities for restoration. Numerous studies have shown that contact with real or simulated green settings, as opposed to built settings, has positive effect on mood, self-esteem, and self-reported feelings of stress and depression, and can help to recover from stress and attention fatigue. The study focused on the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, which handled stress either by triggering the fight or flight response or by enhancing psychological calm, respectively. Students wore sensors to track their heart rates and other functions and then viewed photos of green or urban spaces. The photos were shown both before and after the students conducted a series of difficult math problems designed to raise stress levels. When photos of green spaces were seen after the math test, the parasympathetic nervous system was activated and lowered heart rates. And the researchers conclude, this study indicates that 5 minutes of viewing urban green space can support recovery from stress as shown in enhanced parasympathetic activity. These findings strengthen and deepen the growing evidence base for health benefits of green space in the living environment. In particular, the present findings point to the importance of visual access to green space in providing readily available micro restorative opportunities. I guess plants in the house are beautiful too. Now, our green, what should we call it? Forget the name of it. A greenhouse, yes. Now, getting outdoors often when the weather is pleasant. The take-home message here is simple. When it's nice outdoors, get outdoors and soak in it as often as you can. Parks, nature preserves, backyards can all provide children and adults with much needed access to green space as well. So for the best results, try to take in nice weather while surrounded by nature. If you live in a locale with frequently poor weather and you believe it's negatively affecting your mood, you may wish to consider moving in a region with a better climate. Now, I finished high school in Montreal. You won't believe how cold the winters there. This is by Bennett Reality, but please leave your comments. Now, I used to live in Montreal. You won't believe how many hobbies the children have there, okay? Choir, orchestra, gymnastics, basketball, ice skating until the boys came in to threw us out of the ice skating rink because they had to play hockey. Things that you do, arts and crafts. I'm a very good artist. But we even used to build model castles and things. We had projects for school that we had to do. What else did we do? We had CB radio, and we used to speak to Australia. From our music professor, set up an antenna over the school, and we used to speak to Australia. With people there. So at that time, we also had pen pals. We didn't have internet, of course, at that time. This was BC era. I'm a BC person. Okay, but also we had in Canada, you had the Ice Festival. After New Year's, you had the Ice Queen and the Ice King every year, selected by from the McGill students, the graduates, and they had a king and queen of the Ice Festival. They had ice sculptures that would be lit up at night, and of course, all the Christmas decorations and everybody's house, outdoor Christmas decorations, would reflect on the snow. We also many times saw Aurora Borealis, Northern Lights. Even if it was so cold, we had a lot of things that we could do. Our hobbies, things that would fill you and make you singing, the choir singing, orchestra, gymnastics, sports. We didn't have pools, but we had the ice. We had ice rinks in our neighborhood. Things like that would fill up and make you feel better. Going outdoors or even indoors, doing things concerning your creativity. That makes you feel good too. Anyway, please leave your comments, and thank you for your support, and Happy New Year with health, happiness, and God's blessings for everybody. Thank you for your support.